Good morning, good morning. Session number 3 of the week about to go down. But first, coffee. Bada bing. Bada boom. Okay. Not bad. It's getting a little bit too quick. Like I said, third session of the week about to go down. Caffeination first and foremost. It's been a busy morning here. We've had already a session go down. It's 7:15 currently. I'm gonna take you all behind the scenes of the session. You'll also see a little bit from 2 small groups going down. We've got Ashley and Chris kicking off the morning here. And it's upper body strength for all of our clients across both of our clubs. Looks like it's gonna be a decent day today. So follow me, I'm gonna take you behind the scenes. Let's go. Whew, nothing quite beats that feeling. Post-pump, shower, ready to attack the day. State shifter. Haven't actually lifted weights for about a week and a half now, 2 weeks, and I'm normally getting in about 4 strength sessions. Because my energy, focus, and attention has been going into the Spain cycle, the 500k ride over 5 days, Madrid to Seville, in 40+ degree heat. So a lot of my training has been geared up around being on the bike, which has been good fun, been a challenge, but I've definitely felt like I've neglected some of my strength work. So getting in and doing that today was tough. I felt fatigued very quick. I'm just getting geared up now for core with my assistant in a few minutes time. Then I've got some back-to-back meetings, one-on-ones, department head meetings from both our locations, and then the marketing and sales department, which I'll take you behind the scenes on that. And then I was just sitting here actually reflecting, doing my barnet, coming out the shower. And if you didn't know, I had a hair transplant about a year and a half ago now, February 2024, a month after my daughter was born. And I decided to pull the plug and get this barnet sorted. So you'll be able to see some images over the top here of what I looked like before and what it looks like now, and even inside of the operation itself. So if any of you are wondering whether you think it will be worth it, and whether the discomfort for 2 weeks is worthwhile, 100% one of the best things I've ever done. I've not been somebody who has struggled with confidence, but I can tell you I have elevated my confidence by 10%, and getting this done was a game changer. 7-hour procedure, back to work the next day, probably a bit too soon, but after 10 days it looked pretty good. And then over the last year, slowly but surely it's been growing out, and now we're at a pretty decent level now. So yeah, if you've been sitting on it, pull the plug, go and get it booked in. I use the company called Wimpole Clinic in Harley Street, and I highly recommend. Anyway, enough about hair transplants. Time to get stuck into call number 1 of the day. Let's go.
All of the things, the only thing I took out was I just kept you sign me, and then I get you to show me where I can just start and then see if we can train from there. And actually, that's the most quote to go
Woo! All right, wrapped up a full morning of calls and meetings.
Hi.
So 3 AI tools I want to share with you today that I use every single day. That's going to completely change the game when it comes down to you being more efficient, because essentially that's what AI is all about. More efficiency, better output. So the first one I want to share with you is how I literally get through an inbox or communicate back to a Slack message like that. Now, if you're somebody who finds it very difficult to have lengthy voice notes, 5-10 minutes from people, and trying to distill that and send a response, Whisperflow is for you. So I'm going to give you a little bit of insight here. So I've downloaded it onto my computer. You can put it onto your phone as well. I've got it on every single device that I operate. Now, if I wanted to send an email to somebody and get through my inbox as quick as possible, typing can feel a little bit overwhelming, and I can oftentimes procrastinate. So if I hit FN and I chat here, hey John, thanks for your email. Really appreciate you getting back to me. I just wanted to circle around and see if you had any time this Friday at 1:30 p.m. for a Zoom call. Let me know. Best wishes, Luke. Boom. That is tool number 1. So if you're like me, struggle with typing, procrastinate like crazy, this links up with, I believe it's Claude. Grammar and everything is on point. It also saves certain things. So if I want to just soundboard stuff and put it in my note section, it's saved there. When an idea comes to my mind, I've got it. Check it out, Whisperflow. Very powerful tool. The second one I want to share with you is called Granola. And no, not granola as in granola you'd eat on your breakfast. I'm talking about Granola that syncs to my calls, my Zoom calls, any meetings that I have. I'm able to create a folder structure. So whether that's my leadership meetings, one-to-ones, team meetings, or just ad hoc meetings that I have with people, everything is saved into a file and transcribed with key things that I'm looking for, whether it was outcomes, whether it was things that were discussed or things that people need to do at the end of that meeting. I'm able to transcribe that, put it into a doc, send it out, and also just have things to revert back to if that was ever needed. So this was a gentleman that I had a consultation with. His name was Assad, and he came in and essentially was looking for some big changes with his health and fitness journey. So it calculated everything from where his current weight is, things that he mentioned on the call. The best part about this is that there's next steps. So in terms of what's going to happen next. So if I ever get to a point where I've had 10 phone calls back to back and I'm absolutely crazy busy, it's great because I'm able to come back to those notes and make sure that when I see him again, or I'm running an appointment or feeding back to my team or handing over to the gym managers, that we've got everything we need. I'm not having to repeat certain things. The last thing you want to do when it comes down to operating at the highest level is start to ask people things you've already gone over. As an example, on a sales call, you find out everything that person wants to achieve. They then come in and you ask them again, what do you want to achieve? It makes it seem like you haven't listened or taken attention or care, and it just seems more transactional. You need to come in, or your team need to come in when you've had the conversation, or whoever has that sales conversation, and make it feel like that person has already been spoken about behind the scenes and we've got all the context we need to help that person. Otherwise, trust will be broken immediately. That person should never need to repeat themselves after that initial phone call. We should be repeating back to them their goals and asking them one more time, is there anything here that I've missed? So Granola syncs with your phone, and it also syncs with Zoom, and it's behind the scenes. So it doesn't feel like you've got this invasive bot on a Zoom call. Nobody even knows it's there in the background. Super powerful. Now, the last one I want to share with you is probably my favorite. It's something that I've spent a lot of time on, and I've got a dummy one that I've got here. So what I've done is with Claude, I've been doubling down on how we can create some code in the background for trials and anybody joining our 90-day program. Now, we currently operate 3 programs. We have a 21-day trial for people to test the system. We have a 3-month program, which is you achieving your first major result. And then to lock in your lifestyle, we have a 12-month program. You invest for 12 months, you get the 13th on us. It's called the Diamond. There's certain things that our gym managers are in charge of when it comes down to tracking people's journeys. And one of the things that we've been able to do through Claude Code is able to actually build out our spreadsheets and link it with an API to our booking system. So let's say, for example, let me show you this. All the people that basically signed up for one of our locations in Purley, you've got session completion. This is one of the things that we've built out in the spreadsheet. So an API is linked every single Wednesday and every single Monday, and essentially updates how often that person has come in and signed in. If it drops below 3 sessions a week, they're immediately notified. And in our dashboard, you're essentially able to see somebody who has low utilization. So you should be able to see that there that says one person hasn't been utilizing their membership. And then that way we're able to jump in and hopefully jump on a call because that person may have had some issues booking, may have had some issues with family. We want to plug that gap and even potentially restart their trial so they get the full experience. The other thing that we're doing, this is really, really powerful, is we've got a section up here that says trials finishing this week. So that way, when it comes to the gym manager going into the bottom tab, they're able to see whoever is finishing this week. We have what we call a 2-week progress acceleration call. So that should have been plugged, that should have been completed as that person moves into their final week. But for some reasons, it may be that person needed some more time to think about it. Maybe they cancelled the call and we didn't see it. It's just a way to cover blind spots and ensure that every single person is communicated to at the end of their trial, so that we know when I'm a gym manager coming in on Monday, because this updates Monday at 6 a.m. I'm coming in and I'm going, who's finishing this week and who do I need to close loops with? And that way, when it comes down to converting people into the program, conversion rate can be increased by 20, 30, maybe even 40% by just making sure that you have that finalized conversation scheduled and ready to go. Now, they're just 2 ways that we're integrating that with our spreadsheets. There's a ton of other ways. So one thing that you should be looking at with AI is not creating slop where you're putting copy that doesn't look like you've created it, or building scripts for your reels that don't make any sense to the target demographic that you have. You want to be able to optimize it so that it helps your team be more efficient. And this spreadsheet is just one of the ways that we're using Claude in order to make sure that things are linked with our booking system and our spreadsheets so that we have one source of truth. What do we need to focus on this week? It usually starts with who's finishing this week, how many people are low utilization, because ultimately we can directly correlate somebody's conversion being how much they utilize the program. If it's 6 sessions over 21 days, it's a problem. If it's 9 sessions, chances of them converting raises significantly. I'd get all 3 of those in, but your homework this week is get 1. All right, team, jumping into another one-to-one. Catch you in a bit.
And then obviously she's achieving about those goals. She's going to improve her strength and winning conversation. But this would be the happy medium. This was something like obviously like where you are, for example, you know, to is the where I kind of see most people just kind of.
All right, so that would have given you some insight into the future of our nutritional phases. Me and Cass, who is our performance and programming director across both of our clubs, we were just discussing a little bit around what it could look like for anybody new joining the program from a nutritional standpoint, and anybody who's been with us over the past 5 years. You see, when you look to grow and you look to double down on the training experience, there are definitely areas that we feel we've dropped the ball on and that we're not executing at 100%. And when you can't execute something inside of the business 100% of the time, that's a problem. One of the most common pieces of feedback we get from clients when we send out our quarterly surveys is that they need a little bit more help with nutrition. What's tough with that is that everybody is different in their own way. How do you educate people and coach them to get a great result at scale? It's really tough. So we've kind of defined 3 different nutritional phases. You would have seen Cass talking about it. We've got an improvement phase, we've got a priming phase, and we've got a fat loss phase. Now, 95% of people who are joining T2 Fit are looking for a body compositional change. So they're looking to decrease body fat and increase muscle. But when we kind of defined the core KPIs around what a fat loss phase needs to be and what it needs to look like, we realized that most people haven't even nailed the fundamentals yet. So somebody joining the club who is very deconditioned, never done any kind of fat loss before, never really looked at their food or trained, for them to jump straight into a fat loss phase, it may not be the right time. Maybe they need to go into a priming phase where we actually nail some fundamentals around mindset, training frequency, hydration, sleep, recovery, before we start jumping into a calorie deficit. Maybe we look at that for 4 weeks, maybe we look at it for 8 weeks. It's all going to depend on the individual in front of us. And now our role is to go away, basically figure out what those North Stars need to be for each phase, whether somebody is brand new joining the gym, but how do we also make it universal for somebody who's been in the program for the last year, 2 years, and still needs something to work on. And that flywheel essentially works in synergy, because at different periods of time, different seasons across the year, they're always going to be in one phase. And the language is very important. An improvement phase is there for somebody who's just gone through a fat loss phase, is pretty happy with strength, and is just looking at nailing fundamentals. A priming phase is somebody's looking to gain strength, whereas the fat loss phase is an element of strength, but mostly body composition. It's around dropping body fat and potentially working towards an event, a wedding, birthday, a holiday, which is most commonly what most of our clients are looking to work towards when they're looking for any kind of like significant change. But I feel pretty good about it, and it's one of those ones that it evolves as the marketplace and the education of clients evolves. I feel like more and more we're hearing from clients who are more sophisticated around the education that they have, whether that's courses that they've been on, whether it's around their own journeys that they've been on, or whether it's around a podcast they've listened to. People want to know more, and we've got to ensure that we listen and facilitate that. Otherwise, ultimately, if you stop educating clients and helping them achieve their goals, people will find somewhere else to go. And that's the name of the game. How do we keep stretching the vision for clients, not just around training, but around nutrition too? So from next week, we're actually going to be trialing this with a few new clients who are coming on board with our 90-day program. And then we're going to look to roll it out after a big event that we have on the 20th of June to our wider audience and client base. But there's still a lot of work to be done before that, including rolling it out to the team. And as you grow and as you build a team, that's what becomes a little bit more challenging, is when you have more bodies involved and more people that need to know about the system and are executing the system. It can't just be like a thought and a rollout. It needs to be a whole process that's mapped out and onboarded for the team to be able to execute at the highest level. So yeah, I am just heading back now to HQ, T2 Fit Coulsdon. So let's go. Right, team, I thought I'd give you a little update on our welcome boxes, something that I shared with you guys a few months back when I spoke about what we're looking to introduce into 2026. And there's been a fair few iterations of these welcome boxes, to the sizing, to the overall wow factor. And ultimately, one of the things that I'm obsessed with as a founder is just really looking at what we're doing and what's the impact. And ultimately, we felt like there were certain parts of the welcome box that were underwhelming. So from the size of it being quite underwhelming when you open it, to not having much content in there, although there was a fair few things, we've now looked at what do people actually need from a welcome box. And ultimately we wanted to create a feeling. Remember what Maya Angelou says, and this is what you need to think about with every single thing that you do inside of your business. People don't remember what you did or what you said, they remember how you made them feel, whether that's on the gym floor or whether it's this. And if you're not looking to evoke an emotion of them feeling like, okay, this is me now, I'm in this, I'm ready to freaking kickstart my journey, then there's no point doing it. So if it doesn't do that, remove the activity, because it ain't worth it. It's just another step that is in the system that ultimately is going to fall short. And your goal is to create these experiences that leave people wanting to come back for more, because essentially you're doing the biggest disservice to your client base if you're not over delivering at the highest level. Some of the things that we've looked to bring into play, number one, is a personal message on the front. So you'll see here, it means more effort, means more time, but ultimately it means that it's the first thing somebody sees, and we can really curate this and tailor it depending on what we had based on that first initial experience and maybe the person's goal. We've still got the card that we had initially. We've condensed the box, so we've made it a little bit smaller, and we've also included some other things. So one of the parts that was really important for us was we would get a lot of people asking us what they need to buy, what supplements they need to use. Hey, listen, not everybody needs to get started with trainers and supplements, but some people who just want to attack it and don't know what to wear, we've decided to create a leaflet with a QR code on it that they can scan to kind of get them up and running. So from lifting straps to how to use the T2 Fit training app to trainers and recommendations around things to use for strength training, things to use for the conditioning workouts, through to supplementation, so protein, creatine, and electrolytes. So just like hey, here's what we recommend you getting started with. You don't need to get these things, but here's some links. But also just around like a checklist based on what we recommend them doing within their first 30 days to make sure they kind of springboard into the program. And one of the biggest takeaways from the conversation I had with you guys earlier with regards to CAS and the 3 nutritional phases is that depending on who's signing up, we look to actually get a printout of what that phase means. So let's say, for example, you join the gym, we're going to print out something that's quite small and condensed and lets them know that this is the phase they're going through. These are the things that are required. Here's why you're on this phase, but also here are the 5 things, the daily non-negotiables that you need in order to be able to see the change that you're looking for inside of your health and fitness journey. So yeah, I just thought I'd update you on that. It is 4:45. We're going to be wrapping up soon, heading home. I've got to give you guys an update on the grass, haven't I? I've got to give you guys an update. It's looking better. It's looking patchy. So I'll probably get home in the next hour and a half and then see the girls have a bit of a chill this evening, ready for another big day tomorrow. So yeah, listen, if you've enjoyed this video so far and you've enjoyed the other videos, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and let me know anything in the comments. What's been a big takeaway? Has it been the welcome box? Has it been the 3 nutritional phases? Has it been the workout? Get my chin-ups. Guys are just hitting a workout. That's it now, Zay. Now, push with your right arm as well. Just gonna go in circles. Still, push your foot down, bub. Oh, sorry. Push it out there. There we go. Yes? Nels. You're going the wrong way, darling. Oh, bless her. Her knees. Is she alright? Let's go, Tilsy. Let's see what we got. Well done, bubs. We're gonna have to get those stabilizers off soon. Whoa! All right, let me give you a little grass update. I told you it was a bit patchy, but it's starting to grow through thick. Quite a little bit different compared to the last time you saw this place. We've got some grass coming through here as well. Winning. Yeah, last time you saw this gaff, you would have seen a few dumper trucks and a guy and a digger. There you go. Very different. We've got fence panels in now. I've been watering this freaking grass though for 3.5 weeks. I was told 7 to 10 days. We got work to do.